So as with most of the tools, we'll go to Google Drive and we'll navigate to the folder that we want to do. We'll click New. We'll click More. I have to scroll down to Google Sites and create and share. So this is how you create a Google site using the new Google site. So we'll just kind of walk through this. This is really easy. We can title our site. So this is our Google PD site. We can name the page. We can center a line, or we can align it here. Just make it that kind of alignment or this kind of alignment. We can stretch it over this way, stretch it over this way, and now we can have it over there if that's the type of site we want, or we can just center it. Okay, we can actually make this a link, but we'll talk about that later. And I can also make this title, heading, subheading, those kind of things. I can change the image of this background, so I'll click that. I can click Upload. I can actually change the header type. I can make it a title only, make it look kind of clean. I can make it a banner, or I can make it a large banner. And that's just really dependent on if you want an image there or not. So I can click Upload, or I can select an image from some pre-populated gallery images. I can also select them from my Google Drive. So I'm going to actually do that to show you how to do this. So I go to the Google Drive, then my Google PD folder, and then I actually want to use this. So there's my banner. You'll notice this is doing some cleaning up over here. It's brightening it up. It makes it look a little bit better. Then this probably needs to go down here so that it doesn't interfere with this part. Alright, so now my website is started. And again, I can change my header type just to make you kind of see what it does. We can condense it or tile only. Kind of like this banner, it kind of looks good. Alright, so then I can insert text boxes. So if I click Insert Text Box, I click that, now it's going to insert a text box. I can insert another text box. So maybe I want to call this Google Slides. Maybe I want to call this Google Sheets. Okay. And what I can do is take this right here, and I can actually drag it up and see how it changes. So I can put it right below that. I can put it next to that. I can put it next to it over here. It's really just dependent on what you're wanting to do. I can drag it, as close as I want, but to do that, I have to make this smaller. So I can make it that wide, and I can come over here and I can actually drag this one right by it to make it have a nice, neat format. And if I wanted to add a third, I could easily do that. Make it the same size as the others. Maybe this is Google Forms. Maybe I'm creating my professional development site, and I can drag it up there, and I can just keep doing that depending on how many I have. So that's what those lines are there for, just kind of keep you in place. You can change the background color. So I can I can make this. I can actually add an image. I can change it to this emphasis or that emphasis. And those emphasis colors are pretty much automated, but because I can't change them here. So what you can do if these colors don't work for you, we'll talk about that in a minute. I can insert images. So when I click that, I can go to my Google Drive again. I'm going to go to my PD folder and go to the same place I've been going because I have some images that we've been using the whole time for this. So I can actually drag these images down. I can move them around. If I wanted, maybe I want a different image, what I can actually do is I can search for an image, kind of like we've been doing. I'm going to search for the coffee image. I'm going to select it and I'm going to throw it in here. And I can resize it to make it look a little bit more in line with this. And so I can just keep doing that. I can add images. I can embed. I can embed from a URL or use an embed code. So maybe I want to embed from the web. Maybe there's something. Let's go to. So maybe I want to embed this on my website. So I can actually copy the URL. I can go back to my website and I can post the URL here. It'll take a minute. It lets me preview it and then I can insert it. And then I can actually resize this a little bit. I can drag it all the way over here. It gives a little bit better view. For that, maybe it's something I want them to see here. I can shrink it. And then maybe I want to drag it up here, so I can actually drag it right beside there. Again, I could resize it to make it look a little bit better with what I have going on here. So maybe I need to resize this just to make things line up nicely. So you can always do that kind of thing to make everything look real nice and neat. So got this going on. All right. Next thing you can do, you can just upload. And you can just upload an image. So maybe, here's an image of my family. I want to just open that up and throw that image in there. It takes a minute, and then there it is. So that's another way that you can upload things. You can upload things directly from your drive, from YouTube, from your calendar. So if I click on calendar, I can actually choose what calendar I want to show up here. So maybe I want my calendar to show up. I click insert, and now my calendar is going to show up here, and I can change my settings. I can say show title, show date, navigation button. View mode, I can say, they're always going to view it in that particular mode as a month. And then I can click done. And then I can actually resize it if I need to. Okay, so that's how you can insert your calendar. You can insert a map of the location. So, if I want to put Oki, Anoki, Risa, I can select that. Select, and it actually maps that location for me. Again, I can drag it over and make it look nice and neat, and now I have a map of our location. I can insert a YouTube video. So we've been searching this pretty frequently, so I'm going to do the same thing. Select that, and I can resize that video however I want to resize it, and then now that video is in there. Okay, I can insert a doc, a slide, or a sheet. So if I want a Google Doc specifically to be inserted on my web page, I can just choose it. So I'm going to use the PD document that we were using earlier, and so I can actually resize that to be whatever size it needs to be for the type of document it is. So I can just keep on doing that. I can do the same thing with slides and with sheets. So that's what you can do there. Go to pages. So this is where I can add some pages. So I'm going to add page. I'm going to call one sheets. I'm going to add another one. I'm going to call it slides. I'm going to add another one, and I'm going to call it forms, I think is what I named that other tag earlier to show you what you can do. So one thing while you're on the pages is the three dots. That allows you to set it as a home page, duplicate, rename it. You can create a sub page from here, hide from navigation, or remove page from site. Maybe you wanted this to be a sub page. All you have to do is pick it up and drag it. And so now it's a sub page. Maybe you did that on accident. To get it out, you just drag it over to the side. Like that. Down, and now it is no longer part. Maybe you want subpages in subpages in subpages. So if you wanted that, you just keep dragging them. Again, to get them out, just drag them down here. Just keep dragging down. And now they're no longer part. Okay, so you'll notice that it automatically puts this here. I can delete that off. Same thing on the slides page. I can just click here. I can delete that off. Same thing on the sheets. It's in my way. I can delete that off. Okay. Alright, so now that these pages are here, I want to show you something that you can do. So maybe you want this to be your running board of, your PD. So I can actually highlight this text. I can insert a link, and I can actually just pick the one. So since it's Google Slides, I click Slides, I click Apply. Sheets, I highlight the text and do the link, and I do Sheets, Apply. Forms, I do the same thing. Insert link, Forms, Apply. Okay, so now these are links to get me to these particular pages, and now I can maybe upload, a video or whatever I want to upload. So I can go to insert, from YouTube, and since this is slides, I can search slides. Quick tutorial for Google Slides. I can insert that here, and now on that particular web page is a video on how to use Google Slides when they navigate there. Okay, Then I can go to themes. So maybe the original theme wasn't very good. Maybe I want to change it to this, and then I can actually pick a color, and I can pick a font style, and then now if I go back to my pages and back to home, just to show you how that makes a difference. So now you'll see that it's a nice look. So I didn't necessarily have to do this down here. You'll see I have a running list of things up here, so as I add them here, they automatically populate here. So you don't necessarily have to add that. That was just showing you how to do that as an extra. Sometimes it's not very obvious how to navigate a website, but if you put links like this down here, it's a lot more obvious. So those are the basic tools that you need to know. So there is a more. You can take a tour, and what that will do is that'll walk you through some of the steps I've already shown you. You can also add editors. So maybe you want them to be able to edit. So you'll see that I have some editors. This is the same exact editing as the docs and the drive and everything else that I've shown you. One thing I like about it is you can preview. You don't have to publish it to see what it's going to look like for the viewer. So if I click preview, if someone actually visited my website on a desktop computer, this is what it would look like for them. They'd be able to look at it, and you'll see that I can click on Sheets, and it automatically takes me to the Sheets tab. If I click on Home, I can click on the Google Slides. Again, it takes me to this exact web page. Clicking on Home. Again, if I scroll down, this is a link to that article, and then there it is. Okay, a very nice way of looking at it. And same thing, my images are just images. I can also look at it from a tablet perspective. So, on a tablet, this is what it's going to look like. Not much different. And then from a phone's perspective, if I'm on a more of a mobile device, it shows me exactly how it's going to look so that I know what to do there. So very, very informative piece here. If I'm done looking at my preview, I just click the X, and then I'm back into my edit mode. If you're done with your website, you're ready for the world to see it, you'll click Publish, and then you have to pick a web address, and then it uses the rest of it. Then you can choose who can see it. You can also request public search engines to not display your site. What that means is, if someone tries to find this website on Google, they won't actually be able to find it. So that's what it's there for, and you can just name the site. Okay, so this is these are the basic tools. If you have a section you kind of like the format of, you can always duplicate it. Or if you're ever ready to get rid of a section, you just hit the delete button. Okay. One thing just to remember is you can always do things like this, and to show you how that changes it, for here you'll see now Forms has Sheets writing underneath it. So what that's good for is maybe in Forms there's several things you want to showcase, maybe how to make a survey, then how to make a quiz, and maybe that doesn't need to be on the same web page. Maybe you need 2 separate web pages for that. So that's what that's for. That's everything in the new Google Sites. Hope this was easy and informative.